Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and today we are doing a YumYum box. Yes, it's not been that long ago since I did one of these, but they're stacking up. I have 3 currently, including this one that I need to haul for you. And the family is all home today, so I'm gonna haul this so that we can enjoy it afterwards. So I am not sponsored by Universal Yums. My family just absolutely loves doing this. So what it is you get a box of treats from a particular country around the world, and you get a mix of savory and sweet snacks, and they make really good, or I presume they would make really good gifts for people, you know, like a care package to someone in a dorm or a nursing home, you know, depending on dietary restrictions, I guess. Maybe nursing home's not quite right for that. But what I'm trying to say is it's great no matter what kind of stage you're in. So I have a family of, there's 6 of us, and this box is like a great size for all of us to try it together and laugh with each other as we either taste how gross something is or how awesome something is. And it's just fun to watch each other's faces. So that's how my family does it. But if you're single and you just want a box of cool snacks, then shoot, that would work for you too. Or if you're having a party, you know, it might be a kind of a fun thing to have a bowl of these things and, you know, get people to try it, that kind of thing. So anyway, we've got this, and I don't know what, I just now literally opened the box. So we will learn together what country this is. What does that say? United Kingdom? Oh, hey, United Kingdom. I know a lot of you actually live in the United Kingdom that watch this channel. So now I'll try to be conscious of that. But I'm kind of hoping that this means I'll be able to pronounce most of the things that are in here. But so here we've got United Kingdom. So they always send you a thing like this that tells you kind of about the country, some kind of about some of the places that they put on the map. On the back is the scorecard. So this is what my family uses to score the treats. We give things a 1 if they're terrible and a 5 if they're great. And they also give you a book that has all the information about these treats, including what makes them special to that country. So this is a good example, I guess, of a box that's not quite one country. And actually the last box I did was Africa. So some boxes really are legitimately one country and some are not. So, you know, just take that for what it is. But in here, so it tells you about what makes them special, those items. It also has the nutritional information in the back in case you do have food sensitivities or whatever. There's also just kind of like history lessons. I love tea, so it's exciting to me that there's a page about kind of tea parties, afternoon tea in the United Kingdom. And then there's always trivia, which, you know, depending on the age of your kids could be fun to play. And then it just kind of goes into the items. And then there's always a recipe in there to kind of go with that. And then they give you stickers because the first box that you get, you will get a passport. And I have my referral code down below, which gets you something off of a box if you wanted to subscribe. This is the medium box. They have 3, so obviously one smaller, one bigger. A lot of times the bigger one will have a beverage, like a canned beverage in it too, but we just didn't feel like that was worth the extra price. And honestly, I don't remember, I think we pay like 30 bucks for this box. But anyway, you get a stamp for your passport and a flag sticker. So I always sit here and do this. And I'm getting close to having this book filled up. So I don't know if they will know that I've gotten to that point and send me a new passport, or if I have to request one. I'm not sure how that works because I've never got that far. But anyway, I put my stickers in, and then it's got a place for you to say what your favorite was, what the weirdest was. Would you do that country again? And we all know when I did India, didn't like India. The food for that was too, I don't know, I don't like that spice family. But we've been to Czech Republic, Germany, Scandinavia, around the world, France, the Baltics, Thailand, Ukraine, India, Africa, and United Kingdom. And I really feel like Africa was kind of a cheat. Like, there's so many countries in Africa. I wish there would have been a box of just Kenya or Tunisia or Egypt, or, you know, so it felt like a cheat. And United Kingdom may feel like that too, because, I mean, I could see having a whole box for England, a whole box for Scotland, you know. But anyway, and then they also give you a flower sticker to create a flower garden on the back. This is the kind of thing the kids would like, but I really like doing it. And then they always, if you play the trivia, there's always a trivia winner sticker. And there's always somebody, if you're doing it with a group, that's too picky, and so they can get a sticker. But the rule in our house is you have to try it. You don't have to eat a lot of it, but you have to try it. And I always threaten. I'm like, if you act like you're just going to spit everything out, we will stop getting this. And then they're like, I'll start paying attention. So anyway, let's get started. Let's find the first thing, which looks like it's going to be this banana thing. So some yummy banana toffee. Bananas' English origin. Believe it or not, the bananas eaten today are completely different than the ones enjoyed before the 1950s. The original bananas were smaller, sweeter, and full of big round seeds. But when a disease wiped out this early banana, many thought the world would never taste their deliciousness again. Luckily, Duke William Cavendish had brought the fruit back to England and was able to grow an entirely new variety, the Cavendish banana, which is eaten today. So they're mixing it with toffee. I won't read about the toffee part too. So it looks like this. And when I think of banana and toffee, I think of banoffee pie, which if you are a Love Actually fan, you'll know that Keira Knightley brought over some banoffee pie when she was trying to see her wedding video. And really, I think with that kind of toffee, it might have said in here, but I think with that kind of toffee, you can just can't you just take a can of Eagle's sweetened condensed milk and heat it up and it turns into toffee? Which sounds yummy to me. So anyway, okay, it looks like this, which is great because that means I can have a whole piece and there still be 6 pieces left for when I try it with the family. But oh, this is where I have a knife down here, but I'm kind of hoping I can just tear it. And I'll have to just take a bite, because otherwise this feels like it's going to be bad if you have dental work, which I have 3 cavities that are whatever that metal was that they used to use, but I don't typically have a problem. Okay, it is hard. Definitely can taste the banana. And this is exciting. It doesn't taste like artificial banana. I love banana, but I love banana. I don't like, well, except for Laffy Taffy. I like that artificial banana. But this tastes like the actual banana. And the toffee is nice. It's very creamy kind of flavor. This is not pleasant, I'm sure, to listen to somebody eat, though. So it's really, I don't know what the difference is between toffee and caramel. Except this is saying that sugar was combined with butter to produce the toffee. But that sounds an awful lot like caramel. But maybe caramel doesn't have the butter. I don't know. I'm not a baker. I'm not a candy maker. You guys can tell me what the difference is between the two. But I will say it's definitely harder than most caramel, or what I feel like caramel should be. But that was excellent. I'm going to give that a 4 because it had a really, really good banana flavor. Okay, next we have Grandma Wild's Oat Bar. So I'm really curious if, for those of you that live in the UK, if these will be snacks that you're used to seeing. Like, are they snacks that you have in like vending machines? Or do you have to, oh, this looks good. Or do you have to, I don't know, buy a box of them? So anyway, here we go. This is a Chewy Oat Bar with a white chocolatey top and raspberry swirl. It's not a trip to Yorkshire without a taste of flapjacks. And that's not just a fancy word for pancakes when you're in England. Instead of the pillowy soft cakes that many associate with the name, there's something completely different to the British. Tender, buttery oat bars. And this version takes the recipe a step further. Inspired by the classic Cherry Bakewell, a pastry filled with sponge cake and jam, by adding a swirl of tangy raspberry on top. So we watched the Great British Baking Show, and it's so confusing in the bakery world because biscuits mean something different there and here. I think tarts are the same in both places, but like there's just so many different... Oh, I don't understand how that got so different from there to here when so many of the original founders of this country came from there. Like, why is it different? I have no good answer. But I'm excited to give this a try. I'm sitting here trying to balance all of this on my knee. Okay, let me just cut a little piece off. Okay, well, it's kind of crumbly, but it kind of looks like this. So we've got the white chocolate on top, and it's got the swirl. Well, you can barely see. I got just a little bit of the raspberry swirl. You can definitely get the oat from it. So you've got that kind of crumbly oat, kind of almost cross between a cookie and a cake, an oat cake. And then you've got the chocolate on top that's kind of melting into that as you're chewing it. And then, and it's a creamy kind of chocolatey flavor, but then you get the, even though my piece didn't have a lot, I could still get the tang from the raspberry. So that's really good. That is really good. So I'd give that a 4.5. Now, here's what I'm going to say so far. Didn't like Indian food, didn't like African food. Well, some of the African food was better than the Indian food. But again, they used a lot of warmer spices. And so we're not going to be too surprised that I like this box better so far. I don't know what it is. If it's, I have a big part of my ancestry came from England. A big part came from Germany and the Netherlands. And I don't know, I guess that's just has fed down through my ancestors' history and influenced the way they cooked. And so I'm just more used to that, I guess. So yeah, that was really good. Grandma Wild's Oat Bar. All right, next, Kent Crisps, which are potato chips, but they call them crisps over there. I also watch a lot of Beard Meets Food and food challenges, and Leah Shutkever. I think that's how I think that's her last name. But anyway, so we do watch a lot of them eating savory English food. And of course, they've always got chips. Their chips are our fries, and our chips are their crisps. So, all right. So anyway, we've got, oh, this will be interesting. Lamb and rosemary. Now, is this kind of a normal kind of flavor for you guys over there? Or is this like our Lay's over here that, what is all over this? There's some kind of stuff kind of glistening on here, so I don't know if that means something is leaking, but whatever. So yeah, we have Lay's brand potato chips that they come out with new and weird flavors a lot. So I'm curious if this is something like that, or if this is a standard kind of flavor over there. But lamb and rosemary, well, let's read about it. Savory yet meatless chips with lamb and rosemary flavor. There's no meal more inherently British than a proper Sunday roast. The ultimate comfort food consisting of juicy, slow-roasted meat, potatoes, and veggies, and a rich gravy seasoned with herbs. Now that sounds like a roast over here too. This traditional meal dates all the way back to the 15th century, when folks would use a communal church or bakery oven to make enough food to last the week. The star of the Sunday roast would most commonly be beef or lamb, which makes these completely vegetarian lamb and rosemary crisps a snacky taste of British dinner tradition. I probably would say beef roast would be my favorite. I've never had a lamb roast. Have I ever had lamb? Maybe once in my life. Pork roast would be my second favorite roast. Okay, that's not going to open very well like that. That was always my favorite meal in college, because on Sundays they would have roast, and at college pork roast is my favorite, and then you'd get mashed potatoes and gravy and green beans and stuff, and I loved it. Okay, these are kind of kettle cooked crisps, which these say traditional hand cooked, so I don't know if that's the same as kettle cooked. Okay, so not having had lamb that I can recall, I don't really know what it should smell like, but I do smell the rosemary. And I'm really going to be curious to see if it's got a good meat flavor. Okay, so when you first taste it, you definitely taste meat, but it does not taste like beef. And maybe that's the rosemary effect of it. Do people use rosemary with beef? I know people use rosemary with chicken. I can't say I've ever used rosemary with beef, but yeah, this, you definitely taste the meat, and like neither one's overpowering the other. That's really good. You guys, I'm going to have a hard time picking my favorite thing out of this box. I'm going to give this a 4.5 also because of originality. So that's why the Toffee didn't score. It only got a 4 because it was really good, but Toffee's Toffee, even though it was a really good banana flavor. But this is unique, so it gets a 4.5 just like that oat bar. Okay. Next, we've got, oh boy, pickled onion rings. Johnny's pickled onion rings. Crunchy rings that taste just like pickled onions. Welp, okay. Hanging out in a pub with your mates is one of Britain's favorite pastimes, and with 27,650 across the entire UK, there's one thing that almost all of them have in common. Patrons at the bar are likely to be served up a jar of pickled onions. Onions doused in malt vinegar are an essential part of the ploughman's lunch. Oh, and now see, the ploughman's lunch, Adam on Beard Meats Food has done a few of those. So I don't remember everything that was on it, but I have watched some of those. And this just says a meal consisting of bread, cheese, and pickled onions. But I think it's more than that. Or maybe it's just more than that for him because he's doing a food challenge. In fact, many pub goers snack on these zesty pearl onions straight out of the jar. Dig into this addictive pickled onion-inspired corn rings to experience the tangy tradition. Okay, I love onions. I like some pickle. I really like sweet pickles and bread and butter pickles. Dill pickles are okay, but there's been such a fad in the United States of having pickle flavored things, like cucumber pickle flavored things, that I'm just over it. But pickled onion rings, I guess, will be something different. So these are like Funyuns, I bet. They are just your standard kind of corn puff ring. Well, I can smell the pickling. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Super sour. But that being said, I can still taste the onion. And the pickling is what's making it sour. Oh man, am I going to do another one? Well, I'll give it this. I really feel like I could take one of those, what did they call them? Pearl onions. I really feel like I could take one of those out of a pickle jar, and this is exactly what it would taste like. Like, it's weird. It's like when it was dissolving in my mouth, it felt like liquid onion. I don't know how else to describe it. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the family thinks. I mean, we like French onion dip. We're not onion adverse. I like all kinds of onions. I have one of my kids that likes raw onions, and then several people who say they don't like onions, but they will eat a sour cream and onion chip kind of thing, which is, so I think they'll probably like this. But yeah, that is tart stuff. So what am I going to grade that? I'm going to grade that a 3 because it's a good representation, I think, of that flavor, as weird as that sounds, but it was super tart, which is not really my favorite thing. All right, next we've got, oh yes, Bristo's Rhubarb and Custard Bonbons. You guys, I love, love, love rhubarb. My dad used to make rhubarb pie, and I love rhubarb. Now, in the States, they typically, if you want to find, you can buy rhubarb and make your own stuff. But if you want to find a bakery item that has rhubarb, it's typically paired with strawberries, which adds its own tartness to it, you know. So it texture-wise, it's I don't know, you don't get the full textural effect of the rhubarb when there's strawberries there too. It kind of tones it down, and I don't want it to be toned down. Like my dad would make pie. He would make kind of like a jam kind of concoction that you could put on ice cream or bread or whatever. And I just, I loved it. But I think it's a lot of work. And it's weird because it looks like red celery, right? And it kind of has a texture like that too. And how those are not, like, I'm pretty sure they're not related, which is weird. But anyway, Bristo's Rhubarb and Custard Bonbons. Chewy candies with rhubarb and custard flavor. In England, few desserts are fancied as the fool. No, not a dessert involving clowns. In Britain, fool refers to an extremely popular parfait made of alternating layers of custard and boiled rhubarb. That sounds delicious. The parfait isn't the only way the custard combo is enjoyed. From puddings to cakes to ice cream, it's such a popular flavor that it wouldn't be a trip to the UK without a taste. And with these bonbons, be careful. You'll want to suck then chew for a foolproof tasting experience. So yeah, let me get a thumbnail real quick. That's kind of random, right, to do right in the middle. But yeah, so I kind of have some apprehension about taking a plane trip across an ocean. But if I were ever going to do that, I mean, I have dreams about, like, in the dream, I'm like, oh, I finally made it to Europe, you know, and it's not a dream this time, only it is, of course, a dream. But England is one of my bucket list places to go. Also, Austria, to do the Sound of Music tour. Those are probably my top 2. I mean, I think it would be nice to see the Eiffel Tower and stuff, but if I were in England, like, I don't know that there'd be some things in London that I'd like to see, historical things, but I'd really want to be out in the countryside and kind of get that Pride and Prejudice countryside feel and see the castles or the homes or whatever that are out in the country. So yeah, bucket list. Who knows if I'll ever do that. Okay, so these look like, at first glance, they kind of look like the consistency of mints. So I don't know if this is going to be hard or says you'll want to suck then chew. So this may be hard to demo on here. Oh, it's kind of soft. Mmm. Sour in a good way. Now keep in mind it's set to suck first and then to chew. And I'm just chewing. That's really good. Now, it's part rhubarb, part custard. I can definitely tell the custard part. So it's got kind of a milky flavor, even though it's not a creamy consistency. I didn't even know what I would compare it to consistency-wise. But I will say, I can't tell you that it's rhubarb. It is a tart fruit for sure, but I can't tell you it's rhubarb, which is a little disappointing. Now, I still really like it, but I wish the rhubarbiness of it was stronger. But I'll eat the rest of that piece later. But I'm trying to tell if it, as it sits in my mouth and stuck to the side of my tooth over here, if it's one of those that the rhubarb comes out, but yeah, it's not overly rhubarby, which might be good if you don't like rhubarb, but it really, like, it's not like raspberry is kind of a tart fruit, and it's kind of like, I can't distinguish between those kind of flavors, if that helps. But I could definitely eat the whole bag of it. It's just not as overpoweringly rhubarb as I was hoping for. All right, now we got some shortbread cookies, which we had some of these from Africa, actually. So it looks like this, all butter. We love that. So we've got Dean's all butter shortbread cookies, crumbly shortbread with a big buttery taste. This yum story takes place in rural Huntly, Scotland. It begins as many Scottish tales begin, with bagpipes. Back in 1975, Bill and Helen Dean wanted to raise money for the Huntly Pipe Band, of which Bill was a drummer, and they could think of no better way than by selling Helen's super crumbly, extra buttery shortbread. Fast forward to today, and the Deans of Huntly are a household name all across Scotland, but not for bagpipes. So I love butter cookies. I love shortbread cookies. There are not very many in here, so I'm going to have to break off a piece because it looks like there might only be 2. So they look like this. I'm just going to break off a little piece. Okay, has a really good butter flavor, but the texture, well, I was gonna say I'm used to shortbread cookies that melt better, and not that they melt like chocolate melts, but as it's dissolving in your mouth, it kind of comes together and isn't so rough. This one is more rough, so this one is definitely more crumbly, but at the very end it kind of came together. But yeah, it's gonna be in my throat now, coating my throat. But flavor-wise, it's great. I love a good butter cookie, like I said. I also, and I think I said this in the last YumYum box, I love a butter cookie that's got almond extract in it. So like a spritz, a German spritz cookie. Is it German? Maybe it's English. Now I don't know. Spritz? Shoot. I don't know which side of the family that came from. I know it was my mom's side of the family that always made them. And that was the side that came from England. So maybe they're English. Well, I don't know. If you guys know, tell me. But yeah, I like a good cookie like that. And there's always shortbread cookies that the Girl Scouts sell, but nobody in my family ever wants to get those. I'm like, but they're so good. But because I'm like the only one that thinks that, we never get them. All right, next we've got, it's kind of a weird name. Taylor's Potato Crisps, Mature Cheddar and Onion. So is that how you guys say aged? Like over here we would say aged cheddar. So you say mature over there in the UK, do you? So these are super cheesy chips with an oniony zing. And actually, well, sour cream and cheddar is probably like my favorite potato chip flavor. So hopefully this will be kind of like that. And I like onion, like I said. But these are super cheesy chips with an oniony zing. For over 200 years, Brits have gathered at Cooper's Hill in Gloucester, England, for the annual cheese rolling festival. The rules: a wheel of cheese is rolled down the hill and the first person to catch it wins. The prize? Well, the wheel of cheese, of course. These cheddar and onion crisps may not be the ideal shape for rolling, but they are one of the UK's most classic flavors. Oh, so these look more like a, they look more like a baked chip than, are they baked? Or are they just not hand cooked, or however you call kettle cooked? Okay, it says they start with terrific tatties, potatoes, if we're being formal. We cut them extra thick, then cook them very gently. So that's why they don't have lots of bubbles in them. That is really good. Oh, I didn't rate the shortbread. Shortbread I'm going to give a 3 because it wasn't unique. Like, it wasn't a unique flavor. But this, okay. I don't know if I could tell you that this was a mature cheese. And actually, the cheese is very light. The onion is definitely the star of this chip. And if I'm being honest, I would say it needs a little bit more salt. Now that may just be my Americans oversalt everything kind of thing, but I'm used to potato chips having some salt, and this is probably a healthier as far as chips go. It has a good crunch from the thickness of the tatty. That's a good chip. It's in the 3s somewhere ratings wise, but I wish that I could taste the cheese more. So there you have it. We'll say this is a 3.5 just to be nice. I'm gonna get another drink. Next, we have Black Currant Millions. Oh. This is a lot of something. Tiny, chewy candies that taste just like black currant. Nothing says nostalgia like looking back on childhood candies, and for that, look no further than Millions. No British childhood is complete without a heaping handful of these itty-bitty sweets loaded with fruity flavor. It's kind of like the UK's version of Nerds. Okay, well, that's what I was going to say, except that these are bigger. Nerds are a lot smaller. Now, these are going to go everywhere, you guys. So let me... Okay, they kind of look like... They look like lentils. You can't see that, but... So they have a... They have a hard coat on the outside and a chewy inside. So that's not like Nerds. Nerds are hard all the way through. But this is a really good flavor. Now, I feel like we learned on one of these episodes that black currants don't really grow in the United States because there was some kind of fungus that messed up tree growth, like in the Pacific Northwest kind of area. I may be making all this up or remembering different things, but I feel like black currant was the grape that we really can't grow here very well. And I don't know, it might have even been banned in some places because of the tree thing. So it was like the fungus jump from the grapes to the trees and kill the trees. But it is a really good flavor. And I like that would be a good movie snack. But it starts out really sweet, but then when you get to that inside, you get the tang of the black currant. That's good. I'm going to give that I don't know, you guys. I think I've got 3 things that are 4.5s now. The wild oat bar, the lamb and rosemary crisps, and now these black currant millions. So, really good. Okay, next is going to be raspberry jammy Dodgers. Huge package. Crumbly cookies with a raspberry filling. These British biscuits may appear simple at first, a sweet sticky layer of raspberry jam sandwiched between 2 crunchy butter cookies. But it's that simplicity that made them the most popular cookie in the UK. Made in Wales, Jammy Dodgers are the UK's best-selling children's biscuit, though 40% of cookies sold are actually eaten by adults. Well, sure. A staple in nearly every home, this fun and fruity classic is a nostalgic treat that many British families have enjoyed for years. So yeah, I hope there's more than 6 in here. Okay, it looks like there's maybe 8, because I want to eat a whole one. So these kind of remind me of like a Keebler cookie for those of us in the States. And these are kind of popular at Christmas time because of, that's probably mostly when I would be having kind of these jammy cookies. Okay, so it's really cute on the outside, and then all right. Okay. These butter cookies, did it say they were? Yeah, butter cookies are not as good as the other butter cookies in this box. But this raspberry, so a lot of the times when I eat the ones that are here in the States, the raspberry is so gummy and sticky that it's hard to eat together. But this one actually, I don't know if those are like stale and this one's not stale, but this one actually mixes pretty well when you're chewing it. And you get a really good raspberry flavor, but the flavor of the shortbread cookie part is not the best. It tastes a little like cardboard, actually. So, because of that, I'm only going to give these a 3. They're really good, but the cookie, they need to match up with Dean's. Get Dean's to make their cookie, and then they can add their jammy, their raspberry jammy to it. So it's good, but that cookie's got kind of an aftertaste that is what makes me think of cardboard. So I don't know, maybe these aren't the freshest. Does it say? They're good till February of 25. But there's no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners, no GM ingredients, no hydrogenated fats, and it is vegan friendly. So that might be why it's why the cookie's not quite as good. I spent 3 months as a vegan. Never again. Oh, that is like from my experience, that was, being a vegan is a horrible, horrible diet choice for someone who is pre-diabetic. Just my take on it. All right, last, we have got, ooh, yum. Oh, so this is the same company that did the rhubarb. So Bristo's on Devon. Bristo's Clotted Cream Fudge. Chewy candies flavored like British clotted cream. Now, I don't know what clotted cream is, because I just think cottage cheese when I hear that, and I'm sure it's not the same thing. Sorry, I've got something in my eye now. When it comes to the UK's famous clotted cream, there are 2 places to head to: Devon, where the fudge is from, and Cornwall. Both of these English counties claim to have invented clotted cream, a rich spread made when hot cream is slowly cooled, creating clots of cream. Okay, so kind of like cottage cheese, just the flavor must be different, maybe. But texture-wise, would that be the same? I don't know. And both counties still compete over who makes it best. The process of making it is the same in both places, so the real difference comes down to the pastures that the cows were raised on. Well, that's interesting. So we are getting the ones from Devon. So yeah, maybe I'll have to do a little research on clotted cream. Oh, and they're individually wrapped. So, okay, I really did like this box. So, it's not the kind of fudge that strings. So texture-wise, it makes me think of a marzipan that kind of gets creamier as you're processing it in your mouth. It has a really good caramely flavor. I don't know, why is it called fudge though? Is fudge just anything this texture? This is not fudge texture like I'm used to. But I guess you could make the argument if you took fudge like we have here and wrapped it up, it might be kind of like this. Really good flavor though. Kind of a deep caramel flavor. Okay, what was my favorite thing? Well, I think my favorite thing is between Grandma Wild's Oat Bar and Kent Crisp's Lamb and Rosemary. But I think for originality, I'd give it to the chips, but for favorite, I'm going to give it to Grandma Wild's Oat Bar. It was just so oaty, and the chocolate, the way it melted into it while you were chewing it, and that tang from the raspberry was just so good all together. I could easily see crumbling this or making this the crumble for a cobbler or something, you know. So yeah, so that was really good. But overall, I think I liked, I mean, my least favorite thing was probably the pickled onion rings, but they weren't terrible. They were just a little bit tartar. So I think overall, this box for me, and my guess is it's going to be a good one for my family too, is really good. So there, I didn't, and I'm not just saying that because I know some of you live in the UK, but, oh, what did it say about tea? Because I love tea. Okay, well, high tea sounds like it should be the fanciest, but it originated with the lower class. A meal would be eaten after work and would include hot food like meat, eggs, and bread, along with strong tea. The term high was meant to describe the table it was eaten on, as afternoon tea was served on low tables. Oh, well, I had no idea that that was the case. Okay, and then there's 11sies, appropriately served at 11, is a late morning break with tea and scones or biscuits. And then afternoon tea first appeared in the early 1800s. There was often a long gap between lunchtime and dinner, so afternoon tea bridged that gap around 3 to 4 with a mini meal of tea, scones, cakes, and other various sweets. There are plenty of yums in this box, like the rhubarb, the shortbread, that are all perfect accompaniment for afternoon tea. Yep, love it. So thank you for joining me on this trip around the United Kingdom, but we didn't get anything from Ireland, so that's kind of a bummer. But that could be, well, each of these countries could be their own box. I mean, think of all the stuff you could get from Ireland or Scotland, and obviously England. But anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing some snacks with me. And if you like this or you think you'd like it, check out my referral code. Get us both a deal. And even if you, I mean, shoot, try it for a month. And I tell you what, if you have kids, they would love this. I mean, literally, you get yourself either in the living room or around your dining room table or just wherever you all fit, and you pass out one thing at a time and everybody tries it together, and it's fun. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for stopping by. Wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself. Bye.